something strange is happening. Reports say the job market is strong, yet almost no one's getting hired. Then Jerome Powell, the man steering the U.S. economy, quietly admits job creation is pretty close to zero. That isn't a slowdown. That's a silent collapse. And for millions of people, it didn't come as news. It came as confirmation. You could already feel the slowdown in the air, like static before a storm. Job boards are filled with listings that never lead anywhere. Applications vanish into automated systems that reply faster than a human could ever read them. Even the companies still hiring seem half-interested, posting roles that feel more like bait than opportunity. It's a strange kind of limbo, where the economy insists you should be thriving, while reality reminds you you're lucky just to hang on. Powell's words didn't shock anyone. They simply gave shape to what everyone already knew but couldn't prove. Something fundamental has shifted. And once that truth escaped, everyone wanted to know, who's to blame? The answer came instantly, almost rehearsed: artificial intelligence. Powell himself fed the suspicion. When companies announce layoffs, he said much of the time they're talking about what AI can do. Just like that, a villain was named. To some, it was the long-awaited monster finally breaching the walls. To others, a scapegoat, a shiny distraction hiding older, uglier motives. Many believe this isn't really about technology. It's about money, power, and the same game that's been played for decades. Why admit to a fragile economy when you can say, we're automating? Why confess to poor management when you can point to progress? In the hands of clever executives, technology becomes a smokescreen, not a solution. If you peel that screen back, the real suspects appear. The economy has been limping for years, dressed up with good-sounding numbers and false confidence. Some economists whisper the word Powell won't: stagflation, no growth, high prices, and no easy way out. Companies aren't investing, they're hoarding. Fear is back in the boardroom, and every cost-cutting memo hides behind modern language: efficiency, automation, innovation. The words change, but the layoffs stay the same. Then there's greed, the oldest algorithm of all. For many companies, the so-called tech layoffs are just a rebranded version of offshoring. It sounds visionary to say, AI replaced your job, but far less noble to admit we sent your role overseas. The result is the same: fewer workers, higher margins, and a press release about embracing the future. Some blame politics, others blame policy, but a deeper argument says none of that matters, because the system itself has shifted. We now live in an economy that no longer rewards making things, only moving money. Companies earn more flipping assets than hiring people to create value. The problem isn't the machine, it's the mindset that built it. Still, a growing number of voices warn, don't underestimate what's coming. Even if this technology isn't perfect, it doesn't have to be. It just has to be cheaper. That's the good enough doctrine. If software can do 60% of your job for 10% of your salary, you're no longer an employee, you're a luxury. One person stays to manage what used to be a team, while the rest are replaced by systems that never sleep, never ask for time off, and never negotiate. We've seen this story before. Automation didn't start with code. Machines once replaced artisans, and the world accepted almost good enough as the new normal. Quality dropped, prices fell, and people adapted, not because they wanted to, but because they had to. And when those systems fail, which they often do, it's not the CEOs fixing them. It's the few overworked humans left behind patching the gaps the software can't see. The machine doesn't replace people because it's smarter. It replaces them because it's cheaper to fail with software than succeed with staff. Meanwhile, the human stories are getting harder to ignore. People send out hundreds of applications and never hear back.
Some listings are fake, posted just to collect data or create the illusion of growth. Job hunting has become a full-time job that doesn't pay, a waiting room with no door. Those still employed aren't safe either. They're told technology will make their work more efficient, but in reality, it just adds chaos. Systems hallucinate data, confuse facts, and generate nonsense with absolute confidence. If a person behaved that way, right most of the time but lying the rest, they'd be fired. But in today's corporate world, that kind of performance might earn a promotion. The result is a workforce caught between exhaustion and obsolescence. The people outside can't get in. The people inside can't rest. Everyone's pretending this is progress. Some fear what's coming isn't just a downturn, but a transformation, a slow-motion collapse that looks nothing like past recessions. A Great Depression without the breadlines, only quiet desperation behind screens. Millions could be locked out of the economy, not for lack of skill, but because the game has changed and no one told them the new rules. A few hold on to hope, talk of basic income, reskilling, new industries, but even that feels like a delay, not a cure. Most people have stopped believing anyone's coming to help. The old promise, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help," has turned into something colder. No help is coming. You're on your own. So maybe that's the real question. Not whether technology is the villain or the scapegoat, but whether the difference even matters. If it succeeds, it replaces us. If it fails, the economy that bet everything on it collapses and we lose our jobs anyway. Either way, the ending's the same. You're standing in the wreckage, trying to lift yourself with advice that sounds emptier every day. Those bootstraps aren't going to pull themselves up.